Give us some ASMR with the clamps there. I need to hear it on your mic there.
You want a little? I don't even know where the speaker is. Speaker on an iMac. I don't even know where it is. I'm trying to find. Anyway, get rid of it. All right. Welcome to episode 2 of Target Score Brampton. I'm your host, Matt Bonomi. He's DMZ Balsera, whatever you want to call him. It works for him. Let's get some stuff out of the way before we begin. Don't forget to
Thanks
follow
for speaking on my behalf.
Yeah, you know what? This is my show, D. Take a back seat. Don't forget to follow Target Score Pod on Instagram, Target Score Podcast on YouTube. New episodes every Wednesday and constant content on both of those social pages. You can also check out Target Score Winnipeg with Joey Slattery and Taylor Not Teddy Allen, and Target Score Vancouver with Chris Wiggins and Andrew Savory. Joey and Taylor actually had on former Honey Badger Jeremiah Tillman on their latest episode.
Great guy. Great guy.
Very good listen. Check that one out. And then, of course, speaking of guests, we have a really special guest on our episode today. D. Brampton head coach, first year in the CEBL, Alex Cerda, is going to join us. Hashtag Cerda Boys.
Can't wait to get to that conversation. You're going to love it.
Should be an exciting one. Okay, let's dig right in. We couldn't wait for opening weekend. Of course, we missed you on the Friday and Sunday games. Brampton playing at home. They hosted Ottawa. Then they hosted Calgary. But it was unbelievable, D. If I could use one word to describe it, it'd be unbelievable.
It's crazy because I don't experience a lot of FOMO. That's one thing that I take a lot of pride in. If I'm missing something, I'm hoping that it's for good reason. And I, went away for the long weekend to hang out with the family and take my wife on a long deserved trip. But man, I couldn't help but, look at my socials and tune into the broadcast, and that just that first game, just to see the buzz and you sent me photos from the concourse. Like, what was it like, Matt?
Best way to describe it right here. 2-0.
2-0.
2-0 start. It was unreal, man. We interviewed like probably 1,500 people, and they were all happy that you weren't there. So the vibe was up, man.
Survey says.
I'm going around, I'm like, everything's just perfect, like undefeated. But it was unreal. Like you said, I sent you some pics from the concourse. The vibe was high. The atmosphere was buzzing. The players were into it. Everybody on the table was ready to go. The team looked like they were energetic. It was probably as good as you could have hoped for. And honestly, going into it, I was we had this high expectation, you and I both, I think, from going to the training camp, hearing all the buzz around the team. But then it's also like, okay, well, you have the high expectation, but you need to see it put into play. And everything kind of worked up to what we expected. I'll give you some numbers too. So the opener was against Ottawa. Brampton pulls out a 5-point victory. Just under 2,000 fans in the building. Rick's Good Eats was there. Rick's Good Eats, your boy.
My guy, Rick's.
We find it not Rick's Chicken. It's Rick's Good Eats. I was calling it Rick's Chicken for like 40 minutes the other day.
The disrespect.
Rick was there. He was in the building. He was on the concourse. Our broadcast partner, Joe Rasso, and I got to meet him. What a great guy. I go, my broadcast partner, D. Balsera, and he goes, oh, yeah. So the place was loaded, though. It was like 20, the line was 20 deep, I think, probably the whole game. It was easily one of the nicest setups. It was constantly busy, and the food smelled amazing, too. Like, everywhere you went in the arena, the basketball was great, but I'm like, Joe and I are sitting there, and I'm like, Joe, what is that? And he goes, it's Rick's. I'm like, dude, there's no way that's right. And then, of course, like, you walk by and some like chicken sandwich goes by, and then like 2 minutes later there's a mac and cheese, a mimosa. I don't know if you even heard about this. And it's just going right by too. And I'm like, dude, Joe, you're gonna make your play-by-play debut. I'm gonna be gone for the next like 2 hours. But I know you're excited about that. But that was like, again, we should be talking basketball here, but Rick's Good.
that's the thing that's surprising me right now. It's like your biggest takeaway is the fried chicken that they were serving up.
2-0 and Rick's Good Eats. But on the floor, the talent was great. Around the floor as well, we had some special guests. AJ Lawson was there, Raptor, Dallas Maverick. He did an interview with JJ, our sideline guy. It was an awesome quick chat there. And then Andrew Nicholson was also there, former first-round pick, both Canadian guys. So to see them in the building was pretty awesome.
No, it's cool to see, Al Whitley obviously has a Rolodex of people that he can call up, and he obviously is well established and well respected. And, he spent, AJ Lawson obviously spent some time with, Whitley, and has made some sort of connection. And it's just cool that, for the first game, he was able to call him in. And again, from afar on socials, like I saw other people's stories, I saw the Brampton Honey Badgers stories and their socials. And AJ was like a full on like ambassador mascot for the team. Like he was going around, he wasn't turning down photos, he was making the most of his opportunity, and that's all you could ask for. And just to speak on the basketball product, right? Like I just from the get go, I don't know, I think it was maybe Joey. Joey was saying like, yo, Sean East is so fast. And it's just from the get go, like he set the tempo for this team. And I think the thing that impressed me the most, obviously, the final stat line is really, really good, but it was the stats that he had at a half that you knew that he was having impact on the game, right? And he was really, really setting sort of the tempo for what we could expect. I mean, the first game against Ottawa went kind of back and forth, but the second game against Calgary, they never gave up that lead, and they put their foot on the gas pedal, and they just went full tilt the whole game, and didn't give Calgary a chance to be in it. And I just think this is what we can expect for the season and from this basketball team.
And I'm going to give you some stats from that first game. Sean East, 25 points, 12 assists. Matthew Moncrief, 17 points, 14 rebounds, including the target score time winner. Cam Tyson, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 8 threes, which passed Christian Vital for the single game record. He had 7 in Honey Badger history. So we had history, we had scores. I mean, rarely can you have a Sean East game like 25 and 12 and be like, well, you know what? There's something else that happened in this game that's pretty impressive. But I think that was one of those games. Like Tyson was just balling. Like he came out in
Yeah.
target time. He was scoring still. Like we talked to John Ross, and John Ross was like, well, the thing about Cam Tyson is he doesn't care. Like he just plays. Like the timing and the specifics as to what's going on in the game situation, like doesn't matter. He knows, but he's just going to play. And that's what makes him such an effective player. So that was, I mean, to see those 3 new guys just ball and do their thing, like the crowd was into it. People were chanting nonstop. There were like, and you look at Tyson, and he's just sitting there like this. It's like straight face Tyson, like poker face, like he's ready to go to
Like
work.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, legit, not taking it, just dodging all these punches. You know what was also funny too from game one? You probably saw this on socials. You want to talk about straight face? JJ, you know what I'm going to say?
God bless JJ Soul.
JJ interviewed Ottawa head coach Justin Mazzulla, who's the youngest coach in the CEBL. Actually, he's 27 years old. JJ asked him something along the lines of like, "What do you need to do to limit the offensive rebounds for Brampton or something like that?" And he responded back saying, "Grab the ball." So Joe and I are looking at each other like as we're listening to JJ, and I'm like, "What? I'm like, what's going on over there?" And Joe was like laughing at me, and he's like, "Oh, it's like his brother Joe Mazzulla," and I'm like, "Interesting." So then, sure enough, the next day I wake up and I have like 15 DMs from people being like, "Oh my god, the CEBL is going viral again," and I'm like, "What happened?" And then JJ sending me this thing, and there was some account in China that posted this video of JJ. It was like a 20-second clip, and I'm dying laughing at it. All the comments are like, blah, 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 blah. All this. Twitter had accounts from like all over the world that I was seeing. One of them had like 10 million views. It was a huge thing. But you being at the cottage, seeing that, what were you happy you weren't there? What was your kind of vibe on
Oh
that?
yeah, because I've been there. I'm not gonna put any coaches out on slander on a slab here and expose them for doing it to me. But I've been put in that situation, and it's the absolute worst because it's like, all right, do I even follow up with another question? Do I bother and waste my time? But your journalistic integrity kicks in, and you're like, I have a job to do, so I'm gonna try to break this guy. And to JJ's credit, he handled like an absolute pro. But it's just so cringe and so hard to watch from the other side. Like it's different when you're in the moment because you're like, okay, cool, like this is what I have to work with. But yeah, when you're watching as a viewer, you just feel so bad for the reporter. But like again, to JJ's credit, he bounced back and retaliated with another question and moved on and did his job. So I just can't imagine you and Joe sitting there in front of your monitor being like dumbfounded about what just happened.
I'm like, you hear that correct? But it was good. Yeah, like you said, JJ handled it like an absolute pro, and the game ended up working out in favor for the Honey Badgers. So everything was fine on that front. The offensive rebounding for Brampton was strong that game, and it gave us a good clip. So game 2, though, like you mentioned, also a win for the Honey Badgers. That one, like we said, over Calgary, 91-72. That was kind of a drubbing. Atmosphere, though, was great. I mean, again, it was a long weekend. So the thought in my mind was maybe this is going to be challenging people to decide. Do you want to go to the Cottage? Do you want to stay local and go to something like the Honey Badgers game? There was another good crowd there, though. It was solid.
That's good.
It fed off the Friday opener. The Cottage crew, they were gone, but in the building, D. But the rest of Brampton enjoyed it. It was good, and I want to give a special shout out too because you know both of these fellas, I believe. The new DJ and the new in arena PA,
Jake and
unreal,
Andre, my guys.
unreal, man. Like I was sitting there with Joe at one point, and I'm like, man, like I feel like I'm at a concert, but I feel like there's also basketball going on, and I feel like I don't know what to pay attention to. Like they're both equally mesmerizing. Where I'm like, I can get into this. Like at some point, I'm like, I'm fully expecting you to dance at some point throughout the season, like when you're just. But I'm like, man, everyone was like into it. Like it's crazy to see.
Jake specifically, like the PA announcer, you could hear him vibrating through the broadcast, and you know, being on your side of you know, being with you and Joe and being on that side of the broadcast, I'm like, wow, these guys really have to battle with this guy, and it's not like and I'm sure it didn't like piss you off. I'm sure it didn't like bug you, but it was just like, how do we work with this guy to help elevate the broadcast? Because like we want people to feel this energy, we want people to hear this and be like, I want to be in that building, right? So kudos to you guys, because you guys really let some of those moments breathe.
Yeah, thanks, dude. It was a ton of fun. I went up to him after, and I was like, man, like people will watch. Like I have a ton of supportive friends and families and whoever, people that just watch CEBL that I'll get messages from every now and then. And after that game, I got like probably 5 or 6 messages, and they were like, yeah, the game was good, but like, who is the guy in the arena? Like, who's the PA guy? And I'm like, dude, they're like, if I close my eyes, it sounded like it was like a Raptors game. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, this was like, again, a big shout out to the atmosphere, the tempo, everything in there was just like so good. And then, of course, the game itself. I mean, it was rinse and repeat. Sean East, 22 points, 12 assists, 7 boards. So he had a great all-around game. He's going to be on triple-double watch all season. Tyrese Hunter at 22, Cam Tyson, 14, 6 rebounds, and then Matthew Moncrief, 14.7 rebounds. So it's kind of like pick up where you left off. But one of the big takeaways from this game, D, that I thought caught the attention of Joe and I, at least, was the play of Prince Odro. So Prince only had 6
Captain
points.
Prince Odro to you.
Exactly. Yeah. Capitan. But he only had 6 points, but he had the target score time winner. So one of the things Joe and I were talking about was less fouling. So he's much more dominant inside. He's playing dominant, but he's also playing aware now. And then to have that presence of, yeah, you know what, I wasn't really involved in the offense in terms of scoring throughout the game, but to just pop in off the inbound play on the baseline to get the winner was pretty impressive. So the starters combined for 78 points, and all that production is something that I think we're going to see a lot of this season. And then when you activate a guy like Prince too, or again get Keon Ambrose Hilton when he comes around the corner eventually and joins the team, that is something so positive. Like if you can get almost 80 points out of your starters in a game, then like to me that's like you're probably going to end up with a 0 beside the number right here for a good period of the season.
Yeah, and like for Prince, you know, he was you know, hampered by injuries last year. I think it was his shoulder, where he, you know, was in and out of the lineup and you know, couldn't play to his full potential. And you know, there were some questions about, you know, whether he'd be able to get back to form. And there's no question. I don't think you look at that guy and you don't see any signs of laboring or injury. Like he's full out there, and you can tell that he's rejuvenated a bit. There's certainly an extra pep to his step, and you know, I think selfishly we hope to get him on the podcast and ask about, you know, going from last season to this season and what's kind of, you know, changed. I don't want to say change his mindset, but there's just something different about him. You know, I've been able to follow him back to his days with Hamilton when he was a young pup, and it's just great to see how much he's developed and taken on this leadership role. And you know, Sean East is the clear number 1 on this team, but a lot of those guys follow Prince's his voice and his leadership. And it's only game 2, so I'm excited just to see, you know, how high it gets. But the question I wanted to ask you is, you know, besides the offense, you've talked about the offense. Is there like a certain grittiness, you know, hard nose, you know, knees in the dirt sort of that you see with this team? Because it just really seems like they take a lot of pride in that.
My short answer to you is yes, and I'm not going to answer this fully because I got a surprise for you in about 20 seconds.
Nice.
That's a little teaser there for the folks that were curious. Let me get through this one line, and then I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you the expanded answer on that. We do want to give snaps to Ottawa. Javante Smart obviously balled out. He was great. And then Calgary, no Sean Miller-Moore, no Javante Brown yet, and then Jameer Nelson obviously not part of the team. So it's a different looking squad. So Evan Gilliard, it was I think a tougher game for him. But that team is expected to kind of roll a little more once they get those bodies through the door. So again, good start for Brampton, 2-0. Okay, ready?
Yeah, I said 20 seconds are up.
Yeah, I think I was probably like 40 seconds. I'm starting something here, D, and I wanted to do this because I thought it was fitting. So my saying that I love to use all the time is hard hat work boots. Hard hat work boots. Just like blue collar, giving it. And that goes back to the Hamilton days, the Hamilton Honey Badgers, where a very blue collar city. They love their sports. They'll do anything gritty kind of to get a win. These are my awards through first two games. These are the Hard Hat Work Boots awards. We're digging into the toolbox here.
Okay.
First, multi-head screwdriver. Color-coded Brampton. Sean East, 24 points per game, 52% from the field, 12 assists per game, 7 rebounds per game. Like this guy, I can't even figure it out. I don't even know how to use this. Works in all situations. Get this off the screen.
Wait. We need to provide a description in case somebody are just listening to this and now don't have the visual. What did you just pull out there?
Across the room. It was fun. It's a multi-screwdriver, so you can plug. So what I'm holding up right now is
came with the tools, folks.
Black and yellow screwdriver where you can plug in the different heads, Phillips, whatever it is, plug it in, and just go to town. Always useful.
And the fact that you got a black and yellow one, kudos to you.
Man, it's
on brand.
Black and yellow. Second award. You talk about defense. We're bringing out the clamps. I thought after the first two games, Sean East, Cam Tyson, and Tyrese Hunter, no puppies, all dogs. It was unbelievable. Yeah, sitting there, I'm like, and Joe's like, what are you doing? I'm like, are we live right now? I don't even know, man. I'm amped up. They clamped down on Evan Gilliard, Javante Smart, particularly Cam Tyson. His defense, like Joe and I made comment of it on the broadcast, he would sacrifice his body for anything. Like he was in the lane, willing to take charges. He took a couple of charges, and then other times he's taken body and it's disrupting the shot. Those three guys all being guards is crazy because their defense, like, they play inside. They're not afraid to go in there. And then you toss in like Matthew Moncrief or Prince, and then you have the big guys inside. Like that's a block nightmare for another team's offense. So they clamp down. The answer to that question would be certainly gritty. And I think it's only going to get better. Like we said, Cerda is a defensive coach, right? So it only makes sense that kind of works out like that.
Give us some ASMR with the clamps there. I need to hear it on your mic.
Want a little? I don't even know where the speaker is. Speaker on an iMac. I don't even know where it is. I'm trying to find. Anyway, get rid of it. All right. Last award. We're bringing in the big gun. I just mentioned these two fellas. The Hammer.
The Prince Hammer in the... Oh, it's not the Hammer anymore. Sorry, Brampton, right.
Prince,
to the Hammer.
I'll go through this.
Hamilton.
Go through I'm holding up a hammer, by the way, for those that are listening on only audio. Prince Otro and Matthew Moncrief, the bigs. These two guys got both the target score winners. Both of the target score winners in the opener. So I think it's only appropriate that the Hammer, and I'm going to make this a routine thing. You get the Hammer award, you get the win.
I know you
Not
are.
Incentive at all.
Your poor folks are going to be looking for their tools, and they'll be in the dungeon with you by your laptop.
A jackhammer down here. But I thought I thought the defense was good, the offense was good, and it was just a team chemistry that we haven't seen, to be honest with you, in the last 3 years since this team came to Brampton. So really refreshing, nice to see, and I look forward to handing out more tools throughout the year. You know what I actually call you, D? This is it right here. Actually, yeah, you and Joey can share this one. Joey Slatter, the Swiss Army knife.
The Swiss Army knife? Let's go. I'll take that.
Man. Cottage weekend. Joey's doing other stuff that's like way more important than anything you and I would ever do. And there's like 6 different blades on it. And the problem is if you're around you guys long enough, you'll cut yourself by accident, right? So harmful eventually if you spend too much time around.
Yeah, I don't trust that in your hands for sure.
Yeah, not throw that.
So
You want to put that.
I have a question for you because and this will be a good tease into our conversation with Coach Cerda coming up. But what was your takeaway from him? Like I know just watching through the broadcast and even people told us at training camp, he's very stoic. You can't really tell if you're winning or losing with him. He's kind of got the same demeanor. And we haven't seen him in a high pressure situation yet. Especially given the results of these games. But what were kind of your biggest takeaways in terms of when he was calling timeouts or his body language, how he was relaying? Like was he talking to his guys a lot? Like what were your takeaways?
One of the things that caught my attention that I was very impressed with that we haven't seen in the past. This happened multiple times. I want to say maybe like 3 or 4 times over the 2 games. Brampton would be up double digits, and then there would be a small slide in momentum. Let's say they're up like 14 or 13, and then they give up a bucket, or like they'd give up 3 straight points, like a bucket, and then go back the other way and 1 out of 2 free throws or something. He would call timeouts, and we talked about it a little bit, Joe, on the broadcast. And Joe said, "Well, you know what? A lot of that's could be strategic, but that's also just smart coaching." Because you're up double digits. I mean, in that first game, they were up double digits just before target time, and then obviously that was different. The final result ended up being a single digit win. A win is a win, but you could see that kind of slide. Game 2, that quick adjustment, same thing. They're up 13, slide a little bit down to 10. Timeout on the court. They end up winning by what was it, 19 or something? Yeah, was it 19? I just want to check that out just for the sake of 19. So stuff like that where I'm like, it's like the game within the game, right? Like you're not like you and I at home who aren't coaches, we're probably like, oh, why is he calling a timeout? Why is everything slowing down? But in his mind, it's perfect timing to do it. It's the right move to do, and it clearly paid off. So he's very invested. Like I said to Al Whitley too, like one of the things that I've never seen before was a coach come so far up to the table. Like he's up
Mm,
on the broadcast table with us too at some point, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I could put my hand in his pocket right now if I wanted to. Like that's a weird way of saying that, but he's so close to
very.
us that I could take his lunch money. That's what I mean. I could
I'll
take
be
his
bringing
lunch
that
money.
up later. I'll be
Yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah.
Matt wanted to put his hands in your pockets.
Who's editing this? Cut all this. But you could take his lunch money. Like he was that far up the table when they were on the other end of the court, and he was all positive. Like that's the other thing too. Like no negative emotion. When something doesn't go right, he's standing there, and it's almost like he's assessing, like, what's my next move? Like you can always tell he's 3 or 4 steps ahead of anyone on the court, and then anyone else in the city. Like he is so like it just seems like he's very modern, personable, knows exactly how to approach things, and probably just a really good leader. Like again, you and I don't get access to locker room stuff, like pregame and postgame in terms of speeches and that kind of stuff. But it just seemed really cool. And I think this is also a massive shout out to like Al, Jermaine, Leonard for bringing in a guy like this. Like we talked a little bit about on
Mhm.
the first pod. Al said to us the other day, the culture they want, they celebrate all the wins, whether it's a little win, whether it's a big win. So when he got his first career win in the CEBL on Friday, they had the whole water dump, which I know you want to ask him about when we get him on here in a couple minutes. But that whole thing, Al goes, that was planned. He goes, we knew exactly what we were doing. We wanted it to be a big moment for him because that's our guy. It's not just about building players. It's about building coaches. It's about getting everyone to the next level or set them up with the tools to get to the next. I should show the hammer again for those on audio. The Odro and Moncrief Award. But it's about getting them the tools that they can use to get to that next level. So just bought in. Like that's the best way to
Yeah.
put it. Like
And
so into it.
it's just those little things that go a long way, right? Like I mean in today's culture with social media and capturing everything, some of these things are to be expected, like the water baths and stuff like that, but to be so forward thinking with Al and them, and to speak about it and say, hey, like this is what we've got to do. It's just special. And we'll talk about his resume when we have him, but this is his first head coaching position, right? Like I'm sure he's been the head coach of some smaller and minor teams, but for the most part, in his professional ranks, he's just been a video coordinator, right? An assistant coach, player development. Like he finally has gotten this opportunity and he's now making the most of it. And this team is off to a hot start. And I think you're slowly starting to see, fabrics of his DNA being, shown through these players. And it's just the tip of the iceberg, right? Like I know we sound like we're saying start the parade, and we're trying to refrain ourselves from doing anything too crazy, but it's just way too hard not to get excited about this basketball team after 2 games.
Yeah, it's almost it's like, I know the saying is feast to famine, but it's almost like famine to feast, right? Like we did a 180 of everything going on. And one thing I do want to point out really quickly, that game against Calgary on the Sunday was a big game for a lot of these coaches. So Perry Wong was the coach of Calgary. He's the assistant coach with Cerda and the South Bay Lakers. So there's a little bit of this there. Assistant general manager John Ross in Brampton now was an assistant coach in Calgary last year. Mike Gerling, assistant coach in Brampton now, was an assistant coach in Calgary last year. So there was a lot of like friendly kind of feel to it, but you could tell like
Gerling, the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, right?
Yeah. I don't even know what that is, but sounds good.
This is where I show my age when it comes to conversations with Matt.
Oh my God, sounds good, D. I'm like 21 years old. Not literally, but
Joey knows what I'm talking about.
But there was like, this was like the first real test, in my opinion, where it was like, okay, something's kind of on the line here. And it's not a trophy, it's not an award, it's not the hammer, it's not, but the bragging rights kind of thing. And we'll ask head coach Cerda about this too, because there was a really cool thing about Mike Gerling in the scouting report that we'll ask him about. So tune in for that too. That's going to be an absolute blast. But overall, great weekend. 2-0 to start. Ball is rolling. Brampton's going to get their first taste of road play Thursday at Ottawa. That is the 21st. That's Javante Smart's second shot. I had a little revenge here. And then Brampton
Ottawa undefeated at home so far too.
Yeah, 2-1 record. And then back to the home base for a 4-game homestand, starting with Winnipeg on Monday. The River Lions actually lost to Ottawa last night, Monday, which was
correct. Defending champs went down.
Yeah, so a good momentum builder there for Ottawa. And then, of course, like we said, Winnipeg on Monday. That's always going to be a blast. Teddy Bucket's in the building. He always shows out in the Flower City. So should be a ton of fun. Okay, D, it's time for our guest, head coach Alex Cerda. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Coach, we're excited to have you on. This is a big day for us. And most importantly,
big day for you, Matt.
It is a big day for me. This is exciting. I got the Texas shirt on, everything. I'm repping down south. There we go. Hook 'em exactly. We wanted to start by saying congratulations on the big 2-0 start up here. We got it hanging back there. That's going to be tradition. We hope to see the 0 a lot on that side this year. Welcome to the pod. Thanks for taking time to talk to us.
No, appreciate it, guys. Happy to be here.
So obviously, Dee and I know a little bit about your background, a lot of experience, like you said, Hook 'em, Texas, in the G League as well, and then in the NBA. But why don't you give the listeners a little background quick on your journey in basketball and how you got to this point?
Yeah, I would say just starting at the University of Texas in Austin, like my whole family went there. So I just grew up like bleeding orange, always wanted to attend. Was an okay high school player in Dallas. And, Dallas is like a hotbed of talent, but just always loved the game. So, for me, I knew that I wasn't necessarily going to go play in college, but I kind of always wanted to kind of still be a part of basketball. So it kind of led me eventually to being a student manager my senior year at the University of Texas for Shaka Smart. He gave me an opportunity, and it kind of one thing led to another. I learned how to do video, and I kind of realized that there's a lot of non-former players kind of taking that route into coaching. And so it kind of gave me the blueprint of like, hey, I can do this, So got into video, graduated, then I literally like applied for every job you can think of in the NBA and G League. 2 teams got back to me. One of them was the Fort Wayne Mad Ants. It was funny because that was the last team I contacted out of all the NBA and G League teams. That sounds like not very good place to be. The nickname was kind of ridiculous. But lo and behold, that's where I ended up. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I got to do video. I got to be an assistant coach, got scouts, got to do PD, did the laundry, got a CDL license and had to drive a 22 passenger bus and pass a inspection. And so you really cut your teeth. I was really plowing through the snow all year, but you got to wear so many different hats. And it's just like those opportunities that, I'm really grateful for. And, it just kind of compounded from there. My next stop was with the Clippers. I was a video intern for the Clippers for 2 years in the NBA, which was great. My rookie year in the NBA, Shea Gilgeous was a rookie. So I remember seeing like his first day in the NBA and being in practice. And I remember the little push off he gave me and crossed me up on this first day. And I'm sure he's got even better at that move over the time. So it's just been really cool, just full circle to finally end up here in Canada.
It's crazy that you were with Shy at some point and now you're with the Honey Badgers, because I'm sure you're aware that Brampton was the Hamilton Honey Badgers at some point. So it
Right.
really is full circle.
Yeah, it's incredible, honestly. I kind of have to pinch myself because, it's so long ago. And to now be here in Canada, like I never thought my basketball career would take me out of the country. And now to be here, it's awesome. And obviously, like this is a hotbed of talent. Like I feel like every player is either from Hamilton or Brampton or the GTA area in general. So like I know how much people appreciate basketball here, so I feel at home.
And I kind of just want to follow. Oh, sorry. If I could quickly
Right.
follow up, because you've been talking about being a video guy, right? Eric Spoelstra is kind of the prime example of a guy that started in the video room and became a head coach. What is it about being in the film room that it gives you this sort of advantage to eventually become a coach?
Man, I think it's just the hours that you put in. And you get to put in so much hours assisting the assistants and the head coach. And you watch 5, 6 games a day. You're making edits for coaches and like you're doing 100 things at once. And so just over time, you're just like always learning. You're just a sponge and you're learning from different assistant coaches, from head coaches, seeing what you like, what you don't like, and you're just absorbing all of this knowledge. So I think being in a video room is just like a great wealth of knowledge. Like it's a resource that we are able to like get a hold of. Like for me, like being a video guy was more important than like my college degree. Honestly, like just that experience learning basketball, like the game really slows down because when you're watching that much basketball, we're also watching it at like 2x speed. And I know all the video guys know what I'm talking about, but like we have so much work to do. It's always at like 2x, 3x, and we're just like sifting through film that now when you're watching like a game in real life, honestly, like, you just see so many different things now because the game seems slower to you. So I think the advantage we have is like eventually the game slows down once you put in like your 10,000 hours.
And what was the kind of what was the will or desire to go from video, let's say, to now your role with Brampton, where you're the guy running the show and the whole kind of like you're driving the bus now, literally again with this team, as opposed to kind of being in a kind of more niche role like video.
Yeah, I think video, like honestly, like no one ever wants to do that for the whole life. And so for me, I felt like it was my way to get my foot in the door. And so when you put in those hours, the end goal in mind is always like, hey, I want this to end up, ultimately getting an opportunity to run my own program. I think everyone gets into coaching and kind of envisions like one day having the opportunity to lead their own group. And it takes time, and everybody's journey is different. And, I just really appreciate mine that, things kind of just ended up for my first opportunities here in Brampton. And we're off to a good start.
You've been described as a detail oriented, data driven coach, with a focused and that being a priority. Can you talk about some of your philosophies and what's allowed you've had these incredible offenses everywhere you've gone, and why, besides having good players, why do you think you've been able to be so effective and efficient on the basketball court?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it starts with, we always say high clarity equals high performance. And so like it's our job as coaches to be as clear as possible and to give our players the answers to the test so they can perform at their best. So for me, it's about giving our guys a competitive advantage. So it's about me doing my job completely first. And then also, really incorporating like a staff standards of performance, like role clarity with your staff is super important as well, so they can do their job completely. And so when you have a staff just firing on all cylinders and there's like a high level of communication amongst the group, typically leads just to like, organized structure, framework where the players can, really, play with a lot of freedom and confidence.
Dee and I were talking earlier too, just kind of about the Canadian League Basketball League and all the different players and coaches and front office individuals that are involved, and how the league has kind of gone from grassroots to where it is now in the 8th season. So much growth. Prior to you coming to the CEBL, did you know about it? How did you hear about it? That kind of thing. Like, what was the first thing in your mind where you were like, okay, I need to be a part of that operation?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've been a fan for so many years now. Honestly, like I think it started with just a lot of our players in the G League. They would go play summertime hoops and they would go to the CEBL. And so we would always keep tabs on them. So we would see them play in this league. So I would watch games. I thought the target score was super interesting and exciting. Now, I was talking to Caleb Canales before I got this job. He was like, "You might like it as a fan, but as a coach, it's gonna, you might you're gonna have some gray hairs about the target score," which I completely understand that part now. Like, being in the midst of it, it's different. But I still enjoy it. But it's yeah, so I've just been a fan from afar. And I think when I first heard of it, it was actually one of my coworkers for the Texas Legends, Nelson Taroba. He was the head coach for the Calgary Surge in their inaugural season. And, they made it to the championship game. So just following him and our players over the years kind of always intrigued me over, the course of the past few seasons.
So we got some insight into your interview process. It happened during the G League Showcase, your first interview, and
Actually, roll the
Jermaine
video.
told
We got
us.
video. Roll the video.
Sell some crappy cell phone footage. But we got some insight that you showed up with some massive book, and he said, compared to some of the other candidates, you were so much more prepared. Can you take us inside that process, and how did that dialogue start with Jermaine Anderson and the team and bringing you to Brampton?
Yeah. So again, beginning of this season in the G League, I started to like, really put in the forefront of my mind, like, hey, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm gonna reach out to all 10 teams. And I really put myself out there and, to put my best foot forward, I started just compiling all of my thoughts and philosophies down on paper, making it look organized. And I think I think I brought with me a few packets. It's like 30 plus pages of like, offensive structure, defensive implementation, player development system, again, staff standards of performance, team culture and identity. Like I can go down the line and just like everything that over the years that like really, stuck with me. And then I feel who really embodies of who I am as a coach. So I wanted to put my best foot forward and, and again, like I said, like just being organized for me, it's like it's important, because if I don't have that, then I don't have anything as a coach. That's all I really have. So that was important for me. And Brampton really stood out from the perspective of I just remember one day scrolling on Instagram and saw the news that Al Whitley got the job in Brampton, became CEO, and coincidentally, he's the one who gave me my first job as an assistant coach with the Texas Legends in the G League up in Frisco. And, so now it's kind of been a full circle moment that, we're kind of reconnected up here in Canada.
And you talk about you used a couple of buzzwords there that caught my attention, at least in terms of the culture and what you see in this organization. I think it's really cool. I know D thinks it's really cool, and I think he wants one too. But the dog tag stuff. You explained this
Yeah.
just a little bit the other day, and I think JJ, the sideline reporter in Brampton as well, he was like glued to this, and he said, "You got to hear, you got to hear." And then you told me a little bit about it, but do you mind explaining that again and kind of what it is, when you wear it, and what it means?
Yeah, well, I wear it all the time.
Oh, there we go.
So
Yeah.
if you can see it, there's a gold side that just says tough, passionate, unified, and thankful. There's the Honey Badgers side that says fearless, we don't flinch. For me, it's every team does something where like end of the game they have like a WWE wrestling belt, or they have like a chain that they put on, and I wanted to kind of do something different. My first initial thought, to be honest with you guys, was to give each one of our players a football helmet and kind of give them a sticker for each time they did something, kind of like in college football in
Right.
America. You know,
Take the
like
stripes off.
yeah, so they get stickers, and then the more stickers you have, it means you're a guy. Like you win a lot, you do a lot of good things. So, um, didn't have the money to buy that many football helmets. I didn't realize how expensive that process would be. So I kind of started to think about, what was the next best thing, and I kind of just thought about, what about a dog tag? And my stepdad was in the military for over 20 years, so I thought it'd be a cool concept. So for us, we pass them out to the players after every win, or in training camp as well. After good practices, we'll pass them out to one or two people. So um, it's been good. I think the players enjoy it. The player who earns the most dog tags at the end of the year, we're going to give them something. Not sure yet, but there's going to be a prize at the end of the year for the person with the most dog tags.
That's amazing. I think the biggest thing that me and Matt took away when we went to, the one training camp that we went to in the past couple of games is the lack of culture from the past teams that we've covered, and we've seen that you've really implemented that since you've gone here in day one. Can you talk about how important that is, and what some of the things that you have prioritized coming to this team and establishing what you want to be is the standard for this team, and having a good culture?
Yeah, I think it means everything. I think besides winning, I want everyone to have a good experience here. And with that being said, like I think these four terms that I kind of laid out in front of the players and the staff are things and qualities that we can all take with us beyond the game of basketball as well. And something that again it can really help us just with our lives just going forward. And so for me, it's important for us to define each and every term, and then again embody it and live it out every single day. But tough, again, going back to being prepared, like we say tough and we say fight ready. And so anytime we're going into a game, it's like, are we fight ready? Like, are we prepared? Do we have the answers to the test? Have we done our job? Have we done our homework? And so that's what toughness is to me. It's not like the rah, it's not the screaming in your face, but it's just about, are we prepared as a team, as a unit, to overcome any obstacles and challenges? Passion, which is, I think it might be my favorite one, just because it's the summertime. Like I really want our players to understand that this summer we're trying to get better. Like we're here to get better. And it's not just about the games, but it's about their development as individuals as well. So with that being said, like passionate means like we do extra. Like we simply want to be the hardest working team in the G League. Excuse me, in the CBL. We want to be the hardest working team in the CBL, and I think we've shown that. Like we get a lot of work done pre-practice with our vitamins. Our guys are gym rats. They want to shoot after practice. We have a gym in the condo that we live in, and like we have it reserved at night in the evenings. And I have to kick some of our guys out. Like Cam Tyson, it won't not be in the gym, so I have to kick some of these guys out the gym, which I think it's a good problem to have. Like I want these guys to have that itch to want to get better. Unified for me, it's just speak and act with urgency. Like unified doesn't necessarily mean kumbaya and we sweep. We're just everything's always positive. For me, it's about speaking and acting with urgency, just like being able to hold the standard and with one another. Obviously me challenging and holding the standard with the players, but them leading themselves as well. And I think we've seen that in training camp and in games when like something happens poorly, they're holding each other accountable in the games, and it's been great to see because we've only been around each other for 2 weeks now. So the last one, thankful, I think it's just, I think we need to have a level of gratitude and show love for every single person working within the organization, because if it wasn't for someone booking your flight, you wouldn't be here in Mississauga right now with us. The manager setting up the locker room, someone putting air in the basketballs, water in the bottles, like everything has to be done for us to go out there and perform at our best. So I kind of challenged our players to learn everyone's name in the organization, and to just, again, any opportunity you get to show love and show thanks and appreciation for the people around you, do so, because it goes a long way, especially for someone like myself, starting at the bottom of the totem pole. Like it went a long way, so I want to make sure we continue that gratitude going forward.
That was one of the things I think that all of us were impressed with too. I mean, the fact that we went to the training camp and even on game days, everybody's coming up hey, how are you? Good to see you. Nice to meet you if they're new, right? And that was like, it wasn't like it was one or two guys. It was like everybody, which was really awesome for us. But you mentioned getting to know names. We got to know a name pretty quickly, Sean East. He has
Mhm.
been so impressive. I mean, obviously, D and I watched him last year out west, which was a treat to say the least. What's your relationship with Sean like? Obviously, you guys have a little bit of history there, but what was the process like in bringing him to Brampton?
Yeah, coached him in summer league, and he was a really good player for us. I remember seeing his pre-draft workout with the Lakers and running that workout, and how impressive he was. And to see his growth since then, it's just been phenomenal. Like, he's gotten so much better since that time, which it's been about 2 years now. And when I got the job in Brampton, we played Salt Lake City a few times. There's a couple blowouts, kind
Mhm.
of a few losses that we took. Um, and then that last time that we played them, I think it might have been like in March. We connected after the game, and he said, "Hey, congratulations! I heard you're going to Brampton." And I said, "Man, thanks. I appreciate it. Hey, let me know if you want to join." I just said it jokingly, and he just laughed, and that was basically it. But a few weeks later, once the free agency thing passed, and he became kind of like a unrestricted free agent. Yeah, we just reconnected, and he was interested, and I really appreciate his trust in me, to choose to come here, because he wants to get better. He wants to get back into the NBA in a full-time capacity, and I think he's good enough to be that. And so it's been fun working with him, and he's easy to coach. Like, he's a coach on the floor, and he makes my job easy, and he makes all of us look good.
Yeah, I gotta imagine coming to your first training camp, having a player like that makes your job a lot easier. Is there any unique stories or anything that has stood out to you in the process of leading you up to the first two games?
Hmm. Do you ask that question one more time?
Yeah, so I'm curious if there's anything, any stories, any individual things that he's done. Whether is he a silent leader? Has he kind of been the big voice? I know Prince is the captain, but what kind of has made Sean unique for you guys? And is there anything that he's done that's stuck out to you?
Yeah, I would say first and foremost, again, like, all the qualities that we're looking for in our players, like, he's really embodied those qualities. He's just a good person. Like, he fills up the box score, but his teammates love him. I know it's tough, especially in this league with like lead guards. Some of them can be, a little um, thirsty and like ball hogging, but like,
Right.
Sean has such a
We've
great
seen it. Okay, so we
yeah,
know.
John has such a great way about him that he's just going to always play the right way. And he just has like this lightness to him, this like positive light to him that really just, creates this environment where, like, everyone wants to be around him at the end of the day. So, yeah, he's been a great leader, man. And it's like, he knows when to get on guys. He knows when to like show them love, and, to really like instill confidence in him. So, he's been great to have around.
And Sean, obviously being one of the multiple pieces that were brought in during the offseason. You get Keon Ambrose Hilton, Jameer Nelson Jr. as well. In your mind right now, are you like ecstatic that those guys will join the team at some point, or are you kind of trying to keep calm, cool, and collected and just stay in the moment kind of thing? Like, what is your level of excitement for the potential that could be on the floor, the potential roster that could be on the floor within a matter of, oh, well, I would say the coming weeks, let's say?
Yeah, I think it's a balancing act, because I challenge our staff and our players just to take it one step at a time, like one day at a time, one practice at a time, one game at a time, one film session, one player development workout, everything, like, just be in the moment. But with that being said, as a head coach, I think you have to kind of look forward as well. So just preparing for the time when it comes, when they join us, just being ready for that moment, because there is an onboarding process, so just making sure that we have our offensive and defensive playbooks ready to go, our player development plans ready to go for them once they arrive. Like, so you kind of have to have that forward thinking mentality, but at the same time, like, just take it day by day, especially with this team that we have right now, because we have a lot of really good guys, and we have another game tomorrow, or excuse me, in 2 days in Ottawa. So we can't think too much far in advance and lose the sight of what matters right now, which is our next game.
I'm sure you probably don't want to see Jameer anytime soon too, because isn't he the one that eliminated you in the G League playoffs?
Yeah, that's
Come on,
true.
D. Keep him
And
happy. Steer him away.
actually, no hard feelings at all. I would welcome him back, in a heartbeat in any moment. So no hard feelings at all. That was such a great battle. Like Stockton and his team were so tough, man. They're so good, and yeah, that was a tough one. We were, just probably like one or two possessions away from playing in the finals, man. Which winning is hard, but Jameer is such a great player, and so I think he would fit into our system really, really well.
Is there whether it's another coach or a front league front office member in the CBL that's helped you with your transition and given you a heads up of sort of what to expect? Whether maybe it's even a player that's been around, like maybe Prince has been in your ear and telling you what to expect.
Really, it's been all hands on deck. Honestly, it's been again, trying to be prepared, learning the league, reading the rule books, making phone calls. Again, talking to Caleb Canales. I've known him for the past few years. Speaking to him, and he's always he always has my back, and just is one phone call away if I had any questions or if I needed advice. Same thing with Nelson Taroba. He coached Calgary to a championship game, and so those are guys that for me, I feel like I can lean on. But in the short term, I've had some players with the CEBL experience that's been really great. Danilo for one. Danilo's honestly like coming up to me in practice and reminding me like the different rules from the NBA and FIBA. For instance, the other day, someone shot a free throw and the ball was bouncing around the rim. And he was like, "Hey, coach, that's a good teaching point. Like they can like tap the ball out. Like that's legal here."
Yeah.
And so little things like that, nuggets of information that, reminders that can help me. It goes a long way, and it takes a village, honestly. So I don't have all the answers, but I have a really good staff to help me out. And we have really good players that, are willing to share what they know as well.
And someone in your village is, of course, Mike Gerling. I want to ask you this because I was talking to John Ross the other day before the Calgary game. Obviously, Gerling and Ross, both part of the Calgary organization last year. So that game meant a lot to them, as John had mentioned, and I think Mike told JJ as well. What's the scouting story? John was saying there was something where Mike wanted to do the scouting for that game or something. Is there anything behind that, or is that kind of just it was Mike's turn?
Yeah, no, it's I would tell you it's kind of standard. We call them revenge games. I've had my fair share. I left the Clippers organization, and so over the past few years, the Clippers were always my scout. So it's kind of it's kind of in human nature in the coaching world to like your former team that's going to be your scout, because you want to beat them, but at the same time you probably are the most prepared to lead the team in that moment because you have all the information on them. So the story is, he's our associate head coach, and so he had the first scout of the season against Ottawa, and Calgary's the second game. So typically we go, one, Mike has one, the second one would be Tyson, the third one would be Olu. But I just straight up asked him like, "Yo, I know this game means a lot to you. So do you want to do two scouts in a row?" And he was just like, "Absolutely." So
Nice.
he's had the first two scouts, and he's about to have the third one again because he has Ottawa. So he's on his high horse right now, just working. So he'll probably take a nice break here after the Ottawa game.
Being in the developmental circle, I gotta ask you: is there someone in this league that you got circled on your calendar that you're looking forward to playing against, whether it's another opposing coach or a player that you maybe have gripes with?
That's a great question. I would tell you in our team meeting, we had our first official team meeting the day before training camp, so May 6th. I talked about that. I talked about like every single season when the schedule comes out, there's always games, and we circle certain games on the calendar of like, yo, that one's really important to me. For Sean, it might be Edmonton. For Danilo, it might be Scarborough. And I told him, honestly, there's only one date that I circled when I saw the calendar come out, and that's the championship game, the start.
That's too easy. Come on.
Hey, that's what I told the
the right
team.
answer. That's the right answer.
And it's August 12th, 2026, started the CBL finals. And I just told him, like, I fully intend to be coaching this group of men in that game. So to be honest with you, D, I feel like this league is such a family atmosphere. Like, everyone knows each other. Not me per se, because I'm new, but you can see the love that, all the coaches have for each other. And so for me, it's just about, trying to, win one game at a time. But, I just, at the end of the day, I just want to make it to the end, if I'm being honest with you.
And D's been bothering me the last week to ask you this question. Your relationship with Mark Cuban, have you met Mark Cuban? Or where were you when the news hit? What was the vibe in your corner when that happened?
Yeah, so I have not reconnected with Mark yet. I have met him once when I was with the Texas Legends at the Mavericks training camp, and it was actually Al Whitley who introduced me. And Mark just, tongue in cheek, just said, "Hey, nice to meet you. Don't mess this up. Win some games. Don't mess this up." And I was just like, "Absolutely, we got you, man. Understood." And so it'll be great to reconnect with him. The plan is for him to come up to Brampton at some point to catch some games. So we'll love to touch base with him again. And honestly, I'm a Dallas guy, through and through. Born in Dallas, raised in Dallas, grew up a Mavericks fan. So this is kind of a real surreal full circle moment for me. I can't believe that, he's decided to join our organization. And, I think we're just doing a lot of really great things. And the whole league in general is just on the upward trajectory, which is really exciting.
D, does that satisfy you?
That certainly satisfied me, and it'll help in one of our target time questions. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right. Speaking of target time, are you guys ready to do it? Coach, good.
Let's do this.
Let's roll.
D, ready? All right. Let's go into it. All right, time now for our first ever target time segment here on the Target Score Brampton podcast. Reminder, it's the slowest form of rapid fire you will ever see. We're going to start it with a simple one, Coach. Who is your NBA GOAT and why?
That's an easy one for me. Being from Dallas, Texas, again, grew up a Mavs fan, and I really fell in love with the game with Dirk Nowitzki, number 41. He was like the best player to me, and you couldn't tell me different. Like, he was just the best player, and had his jersey growing up, and would go to the games as a kid, the standing room only seats, and to see him play was always great. And and I still think about the 2011 NBA Finals when he won the championship. I was a freshman in college. I can tell you exactly where I was, and I don't get very emotional, but definitely got emotional when Dirk won his first one. It just meant a lot for the city and to me. Dirk for me, it's a no-brainer.
Just to follow up on that quickly, because I am curious. A lot of people have asked. I'm sure Dee's been asked this question, but I've been asked this a ton. Being with South Bay, one of the GOATs that's always up in the running is LeBron James. You coaching his son, is that a surreal basketball moment? Like, do you ever sit back and you're like, oh my gosh, like LeBron James' son is on the court and I'm part of that development?
Yeah, I think, coaching Bronny's been great. And he's such a normal person and coachable. And when you are coaching him, you're not thinking about, all the other things that are kind of added to that. You're just coaching the player. And he's been awesome. And again, he's a guy who I've been in the gym with him since his first pre-draft Laker workout to his first NBA Summer League, his rookie season last year and to this year. And to see the growth, man, I'm just super, super happy for him and proud of him because he deserves all of these opportunities that he's receiving, playing in the postseason. It was big time. For a South Bay player to go on assignment and to do what he did in the G League season, but then also to see the opportunity and him excel in those opportunities as a key reserve for the Lakers. It's just phenomenal, and I'm super happy for him.
Let him know we'd be more than happy to send him a Honey Badgers jersey if he ever needs one.
Oh yeah, I got. There's going to be an order sent to the Lakers at some point.
I love that.
Some hats.
Slots left.
Yeah, I might have to get him to rock a hat. We'll see.
Okay, so along the NBA lines, what is your coach Mount Rushmore? I know it's hard to pick just 4, but if you had to build a Mount Rushmore of coaches, what would it be?
It's a good one. I would say first Pat Riley, and I have I'm looking over here because I have a little Pat Riley statue right here. That's from they passed those out at a Lakers game when he had a statue unveiling.
Right.
Pat Riley for me, just learning about him and how he held the standard and wasn't afraid to hold players accountable. For me, that's awesome to see. And even in the show Winning Time, and to see
such a good show.
It's such a great show, but to see that, it was just so fun to watch, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of it kind of just reminds me that, hey, guys want to be coached at the end of the day, so don't be afraid to coach them and to challenge them. So Pat Riley for sure. You guys mentioned Eric Spoelstra earlier. He's another one where I remember hearing
You're
about
a heat culture guy, eh?
A little bit. Those first 2, yeah. I mean, again, I love what they do, and the tone that they set and the culture that they have over there. It's awesome, honestly, it really is. But he's another one. Again, just from really seeing his journey to being a head coach in the NBA, it's super cool. Starting in the film room himself. And it's awesome, and I never forget seeing the there's a infamous photo of him in the film room with these VHS tapes, and him kind of turning around. Kind of reminds me of Tom from Facebook, or MySpace.
Yeah.
And I remember watching those finals games, and they would show that picture, and I would tell myself, I'm never gonna work in a video room. And then
you might have to explain to Matt what a VHS is, by the way.
Well, I was just going to say that. You sound like you're dating yourself, and that's the first chirp I was going to get. So thanks, D. I do know what a VHS is. I got 100 of them right behind me here, behind that wood pillar. So sorry, coach.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, anyways, it's funny how things just come full circle, and for me myself, cutting my teeth in the film room as well. So he's another guy that I look up to. From there, I would tell you, Mark Dagnall's another one. I've actually met him when I was a manager at the University of Texas. I was assigned to meet him in the parking lot and walk him to his seats because he was going to the Texas versus Baylor game. And at the time, he was the OKC Blue head coach. And, you never really think that this person's gonna, you never could possibly imagine that he was gonna be a head coach in such a short span of time in the NBA. And he's always been super, gracious with his time to me. Anytime I had, questions in the past, he would always take the time to answer them. So he's been awesome as well. And then lastly, man, I would go with, someone that I got to work with this past year, the past couple years, JJ Redick, he's been awesome, man. Really phenomenal. I owe a lot to him and his staff as well. Such a learning opportunity to get reps to coach beside them in the off season. It's been amazing. And he does a really good job leading that program.
It's a great list. You got generations of coaches. I like how you staggered that.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Before I hit you with the next one, when you were with Texas, did you get to travel with the team, or was that were you always on the road as well, or were you just at home?
As a manager?
Yeah, as a manager.
It was, I think I traveled on about half of the road trips. Yeah. And again, when I had so many different hats as a manager. Sometimes, you were wiping up sweat on the sideline. Sometimes you're cutting up the game in the back. And sometimes, it's not glamorous. I remember being in K-State and it's snowing outside, and I had to plug in my laptop next to the TV truck. And I have a big, parka on, and I'm just cutting up the game outside. It just whatever it takes. So I have some fond memories as a manager at Texas.
So Canadian winters wouldn't be an issue for you then?
It probably still would be an issue. There is some similarities to Texas weather in terms of like, I feel like the last few weeks that I've been here, the weather's been really bipolar.
Yeah.
Like one day it's sunny, it's raining, it's hot, it's cold. I don't know what it's going to be like. The last few days it's been nice here, but Texas is kind of like that as well. But yeah, I heard this past winter was pretty brutal, so I don't think I'm close to that yet.
Yeah, we get all seasons in the matter of like a week. We get all 4 seasons in.
Yeah.
All right, so to a negative to a positive. Let's turn to a positive. Fill in the blank on this one, Coach. To date, Alex Cerda's greatest basketball accomplishment is blank. And it's not K-State at K-State with a hoodie on or a park on and the cutting film outside.
You know, I would tell you, like, if I'm being honest with you, like, I have not been a part of a championship team. I've gotten close a couple times. So, you know, anytime for me, like, you know, obviously we all want to win. We want to be the winner at the end. But for me, in the G League, it's all about better basketball opportunities for the people around you. And so anytime we have a group of guys and you can really see them develop, grow, and get better and get those opportunities, it means the world. It really does. So like this past year, we had like numerous guys get opportunities, you know, 2-way contracts, 10 days, opportunities to play in the NBA. So honestly, like if that counts as an accomplishment for me, like anytime we can see our players reach their goals, for me, I think that's why we do this job.
Well, I shared a story on the last podcast. Jermaine Anderson said he was sitting near Sean when it was announced that he had won MVP, and he saw the look on his face. So I'm sure that's something that you're both aspiring to get him this year as well.
Yeah, you know, I think he's going to be up there for sure. You know, we had a player development meeting with him about a week ago before the season started. And, you know, I straight up told him, like, you're the best player in this league. I think that's a fact. And, you know, it's about him going out there and proving it every single game. And so we're excited to have him, obviously, and, you know, what he's going to do this summer.
Okay, Coach, my question is, if in an alternate universe, if you weren't coaching, what would you be doing?
That's a great question.
That's my third great question today. I'm done. I'm tapping out, guys.
Thank God.
You're really making me think over here. Honestly, you're going to think that, you know, this is a scapegoat answer, but I think I would just be a teacher. Honestly,
okay.
like I think coaching and teaching have a lot of similarities. As a coach, I think I'm a teacher. I'm just a basketball teacher, honestly, at the end of the day. And so for me, again, I find that really rewarding. When I first got into coaching, I just wanted to be a high school basketball coach. So a part of me always thought that, one day I was going to be a teacher. And even my degree at the University of Texas is in physical culture and sports, which means absolutely nothing.
I was going to ask.
But my ideal job was going to eventually one day be like a professor in kinesiology. And so I could see myself being a teacher one day if this didn't pan out.
And obviously basketball has taken you to different parts of the country, let's say to different countries, different parts of the world. If you had like let's say 2 seconds to chill and you weren't working, because it seems like you guys were always on the clock, what would be your number one travel destination? Where would you go tomorrow if someone said you can have a week to just relax and go somewhere?
It's a great question. First, I would say, and I told you, Matt, when I talked to you last in person, my favorite city in the world is Austin, Texas, bar none. It has everything, man. It has the music, has the weather, has the lake, the vibes. It's great. I miss that city more than anything. It has the food, the barbecue.
I was going to say, I want the barbecue. That's what I'm looking at.
We were talking about Terry Black's the other day, and then I was thinking of places in Texas, and we said 6th Street, I think. And then what was the place there? Pete's Dueling Piano Bar? I think it was one of the bars on, I don't know. There's 100 of them there. That was probably the worst one to go to, and I went there. But anyway, it's amazing. That's all I remember.
Listen, you can't go wrong, man. And, to be, at a Texas football game and, to enjoy, that environment and atmosphere is just, there's nothing like it, man. And to be in Austin, it's my favorite city in the world. So obviously it's some place I've already been frequent, but it's something, it's a place that I'm always longing to go back to. Anytime I have a chance to go back, definitely going back. So probably sometime in August, I'll definitely make my way to Austin. And that's really like more of a realistic option for me in terms of destinations. Other than that, honestly, I'm pretty simple, man. And I would say the one spot, talking to some of the Laker coaches, that they kind of frequent in the off season, it's Cabo, just because of its proximity to LA.
Everybody likes a good Cabo joke.
Yeah. Here we go.
So, I think that's kind of been on the bucket list to eventually go to Cabo. Who knows when that's going to happen? But yeah, that will probably be my second city.
Hopefully never, because that's normally the brunt of the joke. So there we go.
Yeah, usually when you get a boot out of the playoffs, you're headed to Cabo.
Yeah.
Speaking of traveling, those that follow me know that I'm a cinephile, so I'm probably going to ask this question every time we have a guest. But if you got stranded on an island and you could only take one movie with you, what movie would you take?
That's easy. For me, it's Remember the Titans.
Good one. Yes.
There you go.
It's just, you can't go wrong with that movie, man. Especially as a coach, I just love coaching movies, sport movies, anything about leadership. And that movie, I remember when it came out, I was in third grade. It led me to playing football for a short stint, which it did not go well for me.
It's like Denzel got to you, eh?
Yeah, I was like sleeping with like a football in my hand, like in bed, and like, I had a football helmet, and I was just like ready to go. And I'll never forget, in third grade, I was kind of bigger than everyone else, like taller than most of my classmates. So when I signed up for football, they put me with like the fifth graders. And so that was the worst thing that could happen to me. I think I broke my arm like the second game of the season. And my family was just like, you're not playing football again. So but Remember the Titans, to this day, like I felt like every single year in school, we would watch the movie in like a PE class or whatever. So that's one that, I can always just sit through for sure.
It's such a good rewatch, and like like you said, every time you watch it, you're ready to run through a wall, right? Like I'm ready to make changes in my life.
Yeah, I love that one.
And then besides from the weather, what's something about living in Canada or being in Canada that has shocked you so far? Could be good, could be bad.
Yeah, number one, there's like a Tim Hortons on every block. You guys go hard.
You got Dunkin' Donuts, it's the same thing.
And I love it. Tim Hortons is awesome, man. I think I've been, going there almost every single day in the morning before practice. So definitely love Tim Hortons, man. I really do love how multicultural this place is. Like, I know I've heard about it, but to actually be here and to see it and to feel it and to feel the atmosphere and the energy in the city, it's like nothing else I've ever really experienced before. It really is like a melting pot, and it's the most diverse area I've ever been in. And so to see that's been pretty cool. And then lastly too, like I didn't know what to expect. We live in Mississauga, so just down the road from Brampton. And I honestly thought we were just moving to the suburbs. Like in the States, when you live in the suburbs, next to the major city, you don't expect that suburb to look like a major city. And so we live in downtown Mississauga, and it feels like we're living in downtown, which is pretty cool. So it's been a great experience overall.
I thought you were going to say bagged milk. I don't know why. Everybody
He's got it in the notes.
I'm so shocked about bagged milk. I'm like, I wanted to hear bagged milk.
Yeah, I haven't gone to the grocery store yet, if I'm being honest with you.
Okay, there we go.
Like the team provided meals. I'm not the best cook in the world, so I'm sure I'll make my way to Walmart down the street eventually and see what you're talking about.
Speaking of the city, you went to the CN Tower yesterday, I saw via socials, and I saw you posted a photo with your daughter. So this goes in line with my question. If you had to trust one player on your team to look after your children, which player would it be and why?
Man.
Too early.
That's my fourth one.
No background check. No background check on anybody yet.
Yeah, no background check.
Honestly, I'm pretty overprotective. So my first initial thought would be literally no one, because I have family I even have family members, so I'm just like, you're not watching my daughter. I don't care. Like, I don't trust you. But honestly, the first guy to come to the top of my mind is Danilo. Danilo to me is just like a gentle giant. Again, he's awesome, man. So Danilo for me, I think he's the first one that I would trust to babysit my daughter.
He was.
And I got a follow-up question. What would you think of the CN Tower? Did it live up to the expectations? Was it, are you scared of heights? Would you consider doing the edge walk?
So I'm kind of a scaredy cat, to be honest with you guys. Like, I'm not much a roller coaster guy growing up. Like, it's just not my thing. My wife is like the exact opposite. Like, she loves roller coasters. And the moment she saw that, so we got to the CN Tower and she saw the tower walk, and she was like, I want to do that. Like, we got to figure it out. Like, I'm like, we have our daughter. We have a 3-year-old daughter. We can't do that.
We have a future together.
In the future, for sure, I am not doing that with you as well. So I'm glad my daughter was there, so I could at least have her as an excuse for the day to not do that. But she's down to do that. I am not. But yeah, the tower was cool, man. You know, I just keep hearing about like the Toronto summers and how awesome it is, and so I'm excited to go back out there and to experience even more stuff.
I hope you know, on your behalf, I'm going to be pitching that idea to your social team, to your marketing team. I'm getting you on that edge walk. I need that video.
Hey, I don't think you can pay me enough money to do that. Good luck.
You said obviously it's been a short stint so far for you in the Mississauga, Brampton, GTA area. Somewhere that you've been or somewhere that you want to go to eat, where would it be? Or maybe just a cuisine you're excited to try, because again, we said it's so diverse here. There's so much options for everything.
So first, I got to give a shout out to Rick's Good Eats. He's been providing our meals for us.
So good.
Man, his food is amazing. And I had to, so after we played that first game against Ottawa, I found him in the hallways at our games. I just had to shake his hand. I'm like, Rick, your food's amazing, man. It really is. Like, there's nothing like it. I haven't tasted
anything. And he's a gem of a human being too.
Yeah, he's the best. He has the best mustache I've ever seen in my life, too. So Rick's the man. So his food's been great. I know he has a brick and mortar store. So, you know, when I have the time, I'm definitely going to take the whole coaching staff to Rick's Good Eats, because you can't go wrong with anything on the menu. That's what we've learned. So that's one place. And also my first team dinner, Al took us and the crew to Earl's, which we don't have that in the state, which Earl's was amazing. I've been to Earl's 3 times now. So, you know, I would have to say I'm a big fan of Earl's as well. So it's not good for my pockets, but it's definitely, you know, just it's down the street, man. So I'm a frequent Earl's, you know, especially after victories.
We were trying to push
your next steak better be on them after that free promo.
Hey, hopefully.
We wanted to push a Rick's Good Eats sponsorship here, but we might have to go to Earl's on wherever the heck it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Young Street.
I don't hate that.
Anyway, now about the Earl's podcast.
All right, Alex, this is your last, Coach Cerda, this is your last question, all right? And you're going to have to think for this one. You're going to have to earn this one, okay? So, obviously, we've talked about Mark Cuban. We know his ties to Shark Tank. If you could pitch an idea or a business to Mark Cuban, what would it be?
Man, I do love the Shark Tank show, by the way. Me and my wife, we record every episode, so we definitely watch it. And we learned a lot about business through watching the show. Yeah, if I had to pitch anything, it wouldn't be anything too exciting. It would probably be something, you know, related to basketball and training, something along the nature. But yeah, I'm not a businessman. I'm just a coach, to be honest with you. So whatever I did pitch, I would almost guarantee you that they would all be out. That's not my forte at all.
Well, there's someone that does have an idea to pitch by you, and he's on this podcast. Matt, do you want to?
Oh, right, yes. Yes. I almost forgot. I was like, where the heck are you going with this, Steve? We got a special guest coming in. Is Mark Cuban here already? This was my idea. I have a graphic for this done, but I'm not going to show you until I actually get it made. So have you ever heard of the saying, and this is like a weird broadcast media thing where D and I think alike. We're always trying to think of like weird, innovative things or sayings that we can come up with or whatever.
Have you ever heard of nervous right now?
Well, I'm not nervous. I just don't want you to just.
No, I'm talking about Cerda's nervous, not you.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. No, definitely not me. I have pitched this to multiple people in the organization already. That being like 3 people, and they all said they think you might not mind it. Have you ever heard of the phrase "for the boys"?
Yes, I've heard
So, like
of
the
that.
hockey phrase, for the people that don't know that, it was like I think it was like a popular hockey phrase or something, or the hockey guys turned it into "for the boys." So like if you're down to always be with your buddies, this and that. So my thinking was the new saying on the pod is going to be Cerda boys. So you have to be Cerda boys. So we got t-shirts made that are coming. We're going to give you one. We got your size. We got it all lined up. We're not going to tell you what's on the t-shirt. It says Cerda boys up top. And then there's some special things in the middle of it. But we're going to give you one of those. And Mark Cuban's not going to give us a deal, but at least we get the
Hey, I love that. I appreciate that too. It's funny. I think over the years, people don't usually call me Alex. They usually call me just by my last name, Cerda. Just ever since I was like in 4th grade, it's just people call me by my last name, or AC. Over the past few years, players call me AC. But I say that to say that my last name kind of weirdly rhymes with a few things. I've had a few staff members in the past say Cerda Inc. If you remember Ja Rule.
Cerda Inc. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Even when I was in the video room, like my hard drive would say Cerda Inc. I didn't name it. They would give it to me. It would say like Cerda Inc. Or they would
What
sing
about
like
Cerdafied? That's got to be
There
one.
you go.
Cerdafied. Yeah, there's people that you can see them comment that sometimes. They'll say Cerdafied. A few coaches would say like certifiable. So there's a lot of different ways you can go with my name. There's even a Snoop Dogg song that was Murder Was a Case or something like that.
Yes.
And they would change it to Cerda Was a Case. So I love it. No one's made a t-shirt though. So I'm excited.
That's what we wanted. You're going to cringe when you initially see them, but this is your forewarning that it is coming. The merch is coming.
But I think we need one for the whole coaching staff. We'll definitely wear them in practice.
Say less. Let's do it.
Yeah, we'll look that up. Then we're gonna put one right back here. It's gonna hang up by your sign, and it's gonna be the official. And we're not giving that to the CEBL either. That's our exclusive merch.
That's exclusive.
Yeah. I like that.
Coach, you performed perfectly in target time. Thanks for playing.
No, appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
Man, D, what an awesome episode. Alex Cerda, probably the certified coolest dude in the world. What a pleasure it was. Again, thanks for him, for his effort and target time there and the awesome sit-down interview with us. So he killed it. You killed it. I think that was a really good segment with him there.
Yeah, I don't know what the over-underline on the length of this podcast was, but, it's funny because people had told us that, especially the staff and the players, that, Alex Cerda, certified, Cerda boys, he's very stoic, and, he's pretty like, you don't know if he's winning, you don't know if he's losing, he's kind of the same demeanor. But man, did he show us a lot of personality, and I think we're going to see him a couple times on this podcast. He seems like he wants to come back, and obviously the door is always open for him to come back, and hopefully they'll continue their winning ways, and maybe he'll think that we're like his good luck charm.
Yeah, hey, you know what? I keep pointing to this, but you never know, man. The sign. That's like the believe sign in Ted Lasso. Everybody's got to come point out.
It reminds me of the 0 day. No, what is it? Like 13 days since injury or an injury's happened. Like that. Like you're just going to cross out the 2 and put a 3.
0 days since Cerda came on pod. I'm just going to put 1 on there.
There you go.
But awesome. Yeah, again, special thanks to head coach Alex Cerda, #CerdaBoys, for joining the pod. Quick reminder, you can watch the Honey Badgers on the road in Ottawa on Thursday before they come home for the 4-game homestand. Those are on CBC Gem and YouTube. You can catch all the fun action. And then for any new episodes and content, every Wednesday, new episodes will drop with new guests. Could be another Alex Cerda appearance. We have a ton of players and front office folks that we want to get on here too, which should be exciting. And then don't forget to follow Target Score Pod on Instagram and Target Score Podcast on YouTube. As always, D, it's been a blast. We will see you next time on next Wednesday.
Wow.